Hello students, in this class we are going to look at practicals of MySQL. So before we go to live demonstration of these concepts, let us first understand them from this video. So these are some of the commands that we use in MySQL. We have the select command. So the select command is used uh, to display the current working database. So you can be having different databases, but you don't know which one you are in. So we have the create database command. So this database is used to create a new database. Okay. So for example, if you say create database, then the database name, then there you create a new database. Then we have the drop command. So drop command is used to permanently delete be it a table, be it a database or row. So once you say, let's say you want to delete permanently, you want to delete a table, you just say drop table, then the table name that you want to drop. So we have the use database. So this use command is used to select the database that you're going to use. For example, you can be having, let's say, different databases. Let's say you have class database, you have the college database. So which one do you want to use? You just say use class. So that means you select the database. So we also have the show tables. So this is used to show the tables that are currently in the database. So we also have show columns. Then you can be able to show columns from a given table. Then we have the describe command. So describe goes ahead with the name of the table that you want to describe. So for example, you want to say describe table so and so. So that is how you can be able to see, and you see the fields that you have specified. So let us look at the importance of data types. So we looked at the data types as I was introducing MySQL. So let's say here you can see we have name, we have these are cards, we have the name here, the name, then we have the breed, then we have the age of the card. So we have the card called blue. So blue, its breed is Scottish, then its age is 1. Okay. So we have rocket, it is a Persian, then the age is 3, meaning it is 3 years old. We have Monty, which is a tabby, then it has 10 years. But here you can see we have put 10. So meaning that this is a vector. So it can't be in the age, because age you are supposed to specify integers or int. So this cannot be a data type for, I mean, you can't use characters in the int, uh, in a column where you specified integers. So meaning that it will give you an error when in the future when you want to modify this. Now, for example, let's say years have gone, then you want to calculate the ages of these cats. So the one that was 1 year, 7 years back, if you multiply, it will be 7. So the one that was 3 years, if you multiply it, it will become 21 after 7 years. Let's say you want to multiply the years by 7. So this one becomes 21 years. Now what about the one that you recorded as 10? So here, of course, you will get an error. So that's why you have to mind about the data types. So let us look at how you create a table in a database. So creating a table, you simply say create table, then the table name, you specify the table that you want to create. So you open brackets. So in there you have to specify the column name, then the data type. So if it is the column for name, let's say this is a name. So let's say here you want to make the column as name. So what is the data type for name? You put the data type here, which can be varchar. Okay, so that's how you create a table. So here you can see we have created a table called cats. So once you see the cat, these are attributes. So it is going to have a name. So a name is the data type is going to be an int. I mean a varchar, which should be a maximum of 100 characters. Then you put a comma. Then you describe another a column, which is going to be age, and the age is going to be an integer. So if you want to describe the table and you see those fields of uh, the data types, so you have to run the describe command or disc command. So that command is used to describe the table. So how do you enter the data into your tables? So let's say you created a table called cats. So how do you insert the cats into that table? So you just say insert into cats, which cats is the table name. Then you open brackets. What do you want to insert there? You want to insert there the name and the age. So then you put a space, then you go to values. So what values do you want to put there? You want to put there blue, which is the name. So blue corresponds to the name. Then the one corresponds to age. So that's how you create a database. Then you always make sure that you terminate at the end with these semicolons. So then how you can insert multiple data into the table. So still you use insert into. So this is the table name. So what are you going to insert into the table name? We are going to insert there the name and the age. So the values, so this is multiple. So remember last time we created only blue, which has age of 1. So in here, we are going to put blue, that is the first entry, then the third entry, Jetson, that is the fourth entry, like that. So in this way, you end up creating a whole table. So let us look at how you can delete a database, or you can delete a table. So we use the drop command. Okay, so the drop command is used to delete tables, databases during and after the database creation. So let's say this is a table or it's a database. So you can simply say drop table people. If it is a database, you say drop database people. So that database or table will be deleted. So then let us have a look at warnings. So these are some of the errors that come with the insertion of data. So let's say you are inserting this age and name and age into the table. So these are the values. Lima, then you put something like this. So remember, this corresponds to name, then age corresponds to this value. So once age, which is supposed to be an integer, finds this kind of input into its field, it will show you a warning that this you are entering does not correspond to that uh, yeah, data type, because these are characters and age is supposed to be in integers. So let us look at these important concepts also: field, type, null, key, default, and extra. So these are very relevant when you run the describe command. So let's say you create a table, then you describe it, describe table. So these you'll find such kind of information. Let us look at this. So not null. Make sure that a column does not hold a null value. Okay. So let's say you want, for example, here, if you can see here, we are inserting this data into the cards table. So we are going to put there the name and the age. So but here on the values, we are putting the values. You can see that this name corresponds to this Alabama, but age doesn't have any value specified for it. So once you enter it into the table, it will simply pick Alabama and it will ignore the age. But this is where the not null comes into play. So once you specify that the value should not be null, so once you try to enter, it will carry an error and it will tell you that this field is not supposed to be null. Okay, so you can do that by saying, let's say you're creating this table. So you say name varchar, it should be 20 characters, then it should not be null. So also age should be an int, then it should not be null. So here, meaning that you are not supposed to skip that column of age. Once you describe, let's say an entry, you put its name and age is a must. Then we have the default. Default constraint provides default value to a column when there is no value provided while inserting a record into the table. So let's say you have skipped age, then once you reach on default, you can describe age not provided. So that's what it means. Then we have key. So in databases, we have a foreign key and a primary key. So the primary key is unique and it identifies each record in a table. Then for a primary key, it is mostly used when you want to uh, connect, to build a connection between different tables. Okay, so these are just example. Then we have extra, which may be, for example, auto increment, whereby when you enter values, they keep on increasing automatically from 1 and above. Then we are going to look at the concept of grad, which consists of these four norm of databases: create, read, update, and delete. So these are norms of databases. These are the things that you always do on the database: creating it, reading it, updating it, and deleting it. So that's all for now. Thank you.